Why take the risk? Maybe it's for those moments when the impossible is conquered and there's that satisfied joy that connects the present with someone long forgotten, a familiar face. Meet your inner child. He's a great kid, but not exactly the guy your boss hired.
I think the legitimate criticism to be made of surfers that when they're in the water, they're not being productive.
Surfers often can't escape the stereotype of being a beach bum. Their entire lives, they have to explain themselves.
When you talk about surfing, the more you say, the worse off you are. It's something that is very personal, and it ends up sounding a little silly.
There's one particular surfer who's turned silly into something downright heroic.
And I was working at this refried chicken place, and my job was to strain the oil. So confused of which way to turn the knobs and not to make a mess. I would have happily left after 5 minutes. To have lasted 8 hours there was the longest 8 hours I've ever experienced.
Dale Webster does not like wasting time. With mind-boggling dedication, he's committed to a goal so simple it would seem impossible.
Today was 9,182 consecutive days, a little over 25 years. I'm trying to surf to the year 2004, and by then I'll be up to 10,407 consecutive days. If I can reach that goal, you can tell that dreams can come true.
Every day, rain or shine or tonsillitis, Dale's out there, mano a mano with the calendar.
In February 1976, there were 5 Sundays in a row, and I saw that won't happen again until the year 2004. So there was the challenge to surf every day until February has that extra Sunday again.
He's kept everything on his pursuit.
It started out as a streak, went into a quest, and now it's some sort of a mission. I don't really know what the mission is, but the only worthwhile thing in life is to ride it to the end, try to find out the meaning of it all. I wouldn't recommend it to anyone. Family should come first. Fortunately, my family knows that this is the best thing for me, is to keep doing this as long as I can.
Margot Webster has never missed a single day of school in her entire life. She has a unique understanding of her father's quest.
Well, it's just so much of a part of his life that it's what keeps him going.
He gets to the beach as the night clouds give way. At the first sighting of the horizon, he paddles out and slides into a wave.
I try to catch at least 3 waves a day. Some days the waves are so big and blown out and tricky that getting 3 waves takes almost 3 hours.
Try to explain, it's the call of the wave.
When Dale turns and bows to the wave, he's giving thanks. It's an ancient Hawaiian tradition.
What I was trying to do was not surfing against anyone else, but surfing against myself, because surfing is the ultimate spontaneous involvement in a natural medium.
I am very proud of what he does. I truly don't think he'll be able to stop surfing every day, because after he's gotten that far, I'm pretty sure he'll just be like, okay, well, I can surf for 30 years in a row, or I can surf longer.
I come out of the water in a much different, better mood than I do when I get into the water. And if that somehow translates into my life and I end up being a happier, nicer person as a result, then I guess you could argue that surfing is good for society.
A society is made up of individuals. So is surfing. Many surfers search for that perfect wave, and to each one, it means something different.
And the waves are kind of they're the central pursuit, but in the long run, they're just this kind of small cherry on top of this much bigger cake.
They come from Ojai, California, a cross between the James Gang and the Marx Brothers. They're the Malloys. Chris is the eldest and the trailblazer. In the middle is Keith, the quiet one. Finally, the youngest and biggest, Danny. They're unique individuals who share deep respect for their Irish ancestry.
We did come from a certain place, and only 100 years ago, my grandmother was on a boat.
If she didn't sail, we'd probably be, in a field right now, herding sheep or something like that. So I think every single time, we're suiting up and we're freezing and we're looking around, you kind of get a taste of what our ancestors went through on a daily basis.
They're good boys, Malloys are they're good people. There's honestly not a bad bone in their body.
We go, yeah, we're Irish. And they just start laughing, it doesn't matter if you're 100%, Irish. If you're from America, you're American.
I mean, you're coming here, to drink a Guinness, to put on warm clothes and beanies and full suits and booties and sit it out. And, I mean, personally, it's awesome to be in this gnarly weather, and a rainstorm to me is fun,
I had a lady come up, and I'm pretty sure that she'd never seen surfing before in her life, maybe in pictures, and she was amazed, and it was cool that she appreciated it, because she came up and she was with her family and was so excited about it and was telling us, she'd never seen something like that, and that we made it look easy. And
because to them it's just this cold, dark thing, and they're like, oh, so you're going in today, are you? And they kind of just want to see it. They don't really believe you're going to do it, and they see you in this weird rubber suit,
They can't believe that you're going out to do it for fun.
Yeah, exactly.
I'm the first one in my family to surf, yeah. Which kind of pisses off my dad, because he used to be always swimming, So he's kind of a bit pissed off that surfing wasn't in Ireland 40 years ago.
When you say, oh, I was in Ireland surfing, they smirk and they go, oh, really, you got to catch a couple waves over there? And they don't realize that waves are perfect. I mean, it doesn't happen that often, and you really got to wait for it, but when it happens, it happens.
I can only speculate about living in the dark. I would rather generate a little light from a spark. I would like to shine. I'm feeling so oh yeah. Didn't hear what your mama said. Brought it home anyway.
These fast, hollow waves break over a shallow rock bottom. This spot's called Pampa, fittingly named after a local insurance company.
Go away. You ain't got time.
The nastiest wave they found was a place called Mullaghmore, but it turned out to be perfect to introduce towing surfing to Donegal County. These people had never seen anything quite like this. Ireland gets surf as good as Indonesia, Tahiti, or Australia, just not as often, which works out well because it takes at least 3 days to regain feeling in your feet.
Keith got out of the water. We've been surfing for 2.5 hours, and he goes, I'm not very calm. He couldn't even move his lips. His lips were completely numb.
Doesn't matter who you are, you come to Ireland and, if you just open up to the people and talk to them, they're stoked. They just want to make conversation. It's the crack. The crack is the good time. Having the good time is the crack.
It's coming on back to you.